Hello my friends, it's Clyde from PT3D, and today we're going to talk about two techniques for leveling your build plate on your 3D printer. Now, if you're like many other people and myself who can't really go out and spring for the big bucks on the first printer they get, I spent less than $300 on mine because I just didn't have the money, but I really wanted to 3D print. Now I could have gotten the mono price and some of the other printers out there, but I opted to go with my Alunar printer because it was a DIY and my impulse said, get it. Well, I don't regret getting it because it's been fairly good to me other than some of the hiccups I've had, and it's kept me learning constantly. So, I'm going to cover two quick techniques for leveling your bed. So let's get started. Okay, my friends, are you ready? So, today I did a print, and I felt that, well, it could have been leveled a little better. But I did it on purpose because I wanted to show you guys exactly what I've been going through with this particular printer. Now, if you look at this print, you see I stick my finger right underneath this corner, but I could also do it under this corner, and it looks like this corner maybe. So anyway, this is also a good way to break your prints if you're not careful, which I really don't want to do. Oh, there we go. So, I mean, overall, the print did pretty well. This is the American flag, and I will give attribution in the links below for the object on Thingiverse. I wanted to check it out and print it and see what the quality was. I got a couple of little issues on it, but there you go. This is for a project I'm doing. Alright, so I'm going to clean off some of this extra stuff here. I don't recommend using your fingernails, by the way, because you can get it to go right up underneath the nail, and oh, does that hurt? Alright, we got a good bed surface, mostly. I'm using Uhu for this. Big subscriber to Uhu. This is a wonderful product. So if you have a printer like mine, use this. I do not recommend, however it does work, using this. Okay? It does work, but it leaves a lot more residue on the back of your print than the Uhu stick. So, yeah. Anyway. So, the first thing I would do if you're going to attempt leveling your bed is to go into your settings, and you want to home this sucker. What that's going to do is that's going to get your build plate where you want it to be. Once you do this step, there's two different things on this printer I can do. First, I can just go up into the program and tell it to disengage the stepper. I'm not really interested in doing that, so I'm going to turn it off. Now I can check my x-axis movement like this. Now I'm eyeballing that, and I could definitely tell that there is a bigger gap on the right side than there is on the left side. Okay? One of the ways you can check that is by using a piece of paper. Now I recommend using a regular piece of paper, but I happen to have a lottery ticket here that, well, I'm not using. So you kind of want it to touch. You want to feel a little bit of grab there. You don't want to feel, it doesn't want to be tight, so you can't, like, get the paper out. And then what I like to do is walk it over underneath here and be like, all right, see, I got quite a bit of play there. So now I'm going to take my bed leveling screw. I'm just going to raise it up about like 4 small turns. It's your printer, you tell me. For me, that almost worked perfectly. Probably like 2 more small turns and that'll be just fine. Now if you haven't noticed, I have a lot of play in my build plate, which is why I have this problem regularly. The printer has a lot of play in the bearings, and that's giving me a giant headache. So, not really happy with that, but other than having to re-level this thing constantly, it's not too bad. So this one right here is just a little tight. Now I can push the build plate down, but actually, no, that one doesn't feel too tight. It feels nice. It's catching on a little bit of the extruded PLA on the tip. So, alright, so I'm going to come up with this just a little bit more. If you're good at this, I'm not, but if you are, you can eyeball this too. You don't really have to use the paper. Most people recommend it though, that way you get a consistent gapping. But that is not. Alright, so we look good. But the other funny thing too about this, I think I should have mentioned this before, is when I move the stepper motors, it actually does create a little bit of electricity, and it powers my display if you move the stepper motors fast enough, just so you know. Alright, so now we're going to go back in, and we are going to rehome the machine. We're going to hope that it doesn't smack into something when it's doing it. Alright, so we look good on this. Okay, now for step 2. Make sure that you have an SD card plugged in. My favorite tool of all time, right here. I don't think you could actually 3D print without one, honest. At least I can't. I need to have it. Alright, so I'm going to go to print file, and I'm going to print nothing that's on this printer right now. Hold on a second. I'm going to grab this card. Alright, now I selected my print. Now I'm going to show you another section. This is where the second bed leveling technique comes in. I'm going to wait for it to preheat. Still waiting. Almost there. Stay on target. Ah. I like to clean my tip a little bit so I don't have any boogers on it. Uh-oh. What's going on? Oh no! Now, see, this is a horrible layer. Whatever am I going to do? Well, I guess it's a good thing we can do this while it's running. Alright, so this is part 2. This is where you can actually go in, make adjustments. Okay, as you can see, the print's done, and I think that looks way better than the first time around. I know we were talking about the over extrusion and stuff while it was printing, but I think that is a darn good print. Now this is a very thin print too, so keep that in mind. So there's probably going to be just a little bit of warping. This is PLA after all, but it's going to be kind of a universal warp as opposed to just, you know, having a corner just look mangled. Like on this one, if you look, that corner right here, if you look, this corner right here is actually not as thick as the rest of the part. So this, consistent across, granted, like I said, does have a little bit of warping. But I'd say this is a definite pass. So Okay, guys, I apologize for just kind of splicing this part in, but there was a couple of things I didn't mention when I was running this particular print. Okay, the first one is when I leveled the bed, I leveled it on a warped surface because my one side of my workbench has a little bit of a curl to it as opposed to the other side, which is flat. So what I did is when I moved it, I actually had to readjust some of the build plate again when I moved the printer back to where it was supposed to be. So, and it was pretty significant the amount of difference there was when I did that. Always remember when you're playing with a 3D printer and it's hot, don't touch the hot end, okay? It burns. It melts skin and it melts plastic, so I don't recommend getting your hands anywhere near that. So I don't advise you trying to level your bed while it's moving, but if you're comfortable enough to do it, then sometimes that is a very good way to ensure a good quality print. If there's any comments or questions you might have, please feel free to ask. I do take constructive criticism very well, and I appreciate it. It helps me to improve my content and to provide you with more useful information. So if you like this video, please like or not like, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down, and subscribe. It lets me know I'm doing a good job or I'm not doing a good job. Either way, I'm having fun and I'm enjoying talking to you.